you should be very careful before you sign any Amazon Vendor Central agreements. And in this video, I'll be explaining exactly why. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Benjamin Bolshinsky. I used to work at Amazon in the vendor management team as an AVS for almost 3 years. And now I run a company called Vendor Launch, where we work exclusively with Amazon vendors to grow their sales. So without further ado, the thing you have to keep in mind is whenever you sign a new agreement in Vendor Central, you should treat it as just a permanent commitment. This is because vendor managers in Amazon, they come and go. But most trading agreements, the way they're set up in Vendor Central, they automatically renew every year, which is why it is incredibly difficult often to get out of these agreements, right? Because they just keep renewing every year. And so once you sign it, it's just signed in perpetuity. Combine that with the fact that Amazon vendor managers, I'd say the average tenure is around 2 years before either they go to a different company or they get promoted and move into a different role. So in 2 years, a new vendor manager is going to come and work on your account. And so a lot of that negotiations, discussions effectively is reset to zero. And so unless you've got strict writing of the exact terms of your negotiations and agreements, then, some of that kind of gets lost. And in some sense, you kind of have to start all over. So all that to say, when you're about to sign an agreement, just make sure you're 100% committed to it. And internally in your mind, assume it's there forever. And I'll give you a great example. So I run a paid consulting service for Amazon vendors, and we one-on-one advise vendors one-on-one on kind of what, operationally, profitability on how their account is growing. And so why I recently spoke to a vendor that was considering signing a funding agreement so that Amazon would stop raising shortage claims. So they had a lot of shortage claims, and then Amazon comes to them and says, if you sign this agreement for, I think it was like 1% of your invoice sales, then, we'll waive all of these shortage claims, these disputes, to save you time. And then on the surface, that sounds very good. But instead, what we suggested is that, number one, they should address the underlying issue that was leading to these excessive shortage claims, which in this case was incorrect product setup. And then number two is, whilst you're kind of doing this, is to implement our own vendor launch, our own system that we use for disputing all of these shortage claims, because you can dispute them, right? Oftentimes these shortage claims are not due to the vendor's fault. It's actually due to Amazon losing inventory in their warehouse. So that's just a side note. But as a result of these two changes that we made, so addressing the underlying issue, product setup, and then B, implementing our own system for disputing these shortage claims, the vendor is now recovering 100% of those claims. So in other words, they're losing zero, right? And then compare that with the other scenario where they would have signed the agreement, right, for 1%, and that'd be, paying $100K every year. So you can see how, you should be very careful before you sign any new Vendor Central agreements, right? And the worst thing is, should that vendor have signed that agreement, it automatically renews every year, right? And good luck getting out of that, right? If you're a vendor right now and you've tried to put through a CPI, a cost price increase, you know how painful it is to get Amazon to lose margin, right? For Amazon to pay you, to give up some of that funding of that money, right? And so it's almost impossible to get rid of the agreements, in my experience. So hopefully that helps. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to record a video addressing them. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and talk soon. Bye.